Hi, Lazie.
Oh, shut it, you.
Last time on She Rules the Waves, me and Tossa went for a beautiful winter sail and tried the Karma drone for the first time. And it was the last sail before the sudden appearance of ice in our neck of the woods. This time I'm going to dig deeper into the wants and needs of my liveaboard dream and go through a couple of the models I've been looking at. And then when the ice melts, we finally get to try out the new A2 gennaker. And please remember that the best way to support us is to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hey people, it is early February 2021 and the winter actually came to the south of Sweden this week. We seem to have below 0 degrees pretty much every day this week. That means I've got to heat up the boat. Seems I can actually stand beneath the boat. It's kind of weird, I must say.
I'm not sure if the camera can pick it up, but it really sounds kind of ominous to hear the ice scrape against the hull when the boat swings a little.
Hey, so it's February. It is a beautiful day. It is cold AF, but still a beautiful day. One of my followers on YouTube actually got in touch with me because he has a boat on the same dock as I. He's out of town and the diesel in his heater is running out, so he asked me if I could possibly fill it up for him, which of course I will do. So I got a jerry can of HVO 100, which is environmental more friendly diesel. That's actually proven to be way better than most biodiesels you can find out there. And Volvo Penta, among others, has cleared it to be used in all their engines. I mean, all their engines, even the old ones. So I've actually been using HVO 100 for this last year, and it works great both in my heater and in my engine. So I hope it will work for him too. Anyway, so I'm just gonna leave the jerry can for him in the boat, and a friend of his is going to come with the keys and refill it for him. Cool. Second boat on the left, must be this one. Okay, so one of the things that I haven't talked to you about that much yet is the fact that I want to upgrade Alva to a bigger boat for my future liveaboard plans and, of course, world traveling that we all dream about. So I'm looking into a bunch of different models.
What is he on about? Will he ever shut his mouth, I wonder?
Come on. Alright, so my point is, I'm looking into a bunch of different models, and I have a bunch of criteria that I want to be a part of the new boat. So I made a list of boxes to tick, criteria to fill, preferably all of them, but at least most of them. I can't really go look at boats at the moment, which is a problem, but I've been doing some extensive research online, and I actually went to look at a couple of models before all this started. So the boxes that I want to tick is these. I definitely want a boat that sails well. It doesn't have to be a racer, but a decent sailor. I want it to be sturdy and safe for blue water passages, even for solo sailing. I want a relatively shoal draft, definitely not deeper than 2 meters. Since I want to live aboard, I need decent tanks for water and fuel. I want a roomy master bedroom so that I don't have to crawl in and out of bed every day. I have a hard enough time getting up in the morning as it is. I would prefer a separate shower, or at least a solution that doesn't make the whole bathroom wet. A galley that is roomy and or smart enough for everyday use, as well as cooking under passage. I want an engine room or a designated technical space that makes it easy to install and maintain appliances for heating, plumbing, washing, etc. I do also need a place to record my music. I'm picturing kind of like a floating studio, but I'll get into more of that later. Let myself go, to let myself flow. It's the only way. There's no use telling me, there's no use taking a step back from me. I do, of course, realize that I have to make compromises along the way, especially since my budget is so tight that I most certainly won't afford a boat made later than mid-80s, possibly early 90s, but more likely late 70s. The requirements that I have has also matured along the way. In the beginning, I was mostly focused on the living arrangements and the coastal cruising sailing, and blue water capabilities did not seemed that important to me at the time. And to find all those living arrangements that I was talking about in a small boat is not easy. So I was mainly looking at larger boats, 45, 50 feet, around there somewhere. At the time, I really wanted an aft cockpit with twin wheels, so I turned to boats like the Oceanus 510 and 473. However, being a solo sailor lots of the time, and the fact that Scandinavian ports are not really made for large boats, this was not an ideal situation. So when I found the Catalina 400, I was really sold. I found one in France that sold before I even had time to react. And then one in the Netherlands, but the owner of that one decided he wasn't ready to sell yet. After some more research and more leaning against the blue water passage sailing in the future, I realized that a center cockpit probably was preferable for a solo sailor. So I found the Gulfstar 44cc. That pretty much ticked all my boxes, except maybe being a little bit too big. But since both the Gulfstars and the Catalinas are American boats, they're not very common in Europe. I did look into importing, buying one over there, sailing it back, but the rules and taxes are way too complicated and expensive for me at the moment. So I had to keep looking. I did of course look at Naiads, Hallberg Rassis and other Scandinavian models, and I did actually find an Aphrodite 42 that I made an offer on. But these boats all end up way over my budget. I also found Moody at the time. Moody 425 and even 422 and 376 was interesting. But this is also the time when I started to get more intrigued by the ketch rigging, following YouTube sailors like Delos and Atticus. Sure, the upwind performance would be a major con, but the stability, smaller sails, and the lower mast would be huge pros. That brings me to this winter, when I found the boat I really thought would be Alva number 3. The Holman and Pye designed Oyster 39. Slightly weird looking ketch, with proved blue water stability. The most famous one, named Morningtown, served as a radio relay vessel during the horrible storm that wreaked havoc in the 1979 Fastnet race in the UK and Ireland. She stayed and helped the boats until the end, and got out of there unharmed. The Oyster 39 that I found is located in the UK, and seems to be in great shape. I've been talking and mailing back and forth with the broker, and I was really set to fly over as soon as the restrictions allow it. But then I got the email from the Swedish customs office. It turns out that because of Brexit, I would have to pay VAT if I bring the boat back to the EU. In Sweden, that means 25% extra on the price. Needless to say, I was very disappointed. I am looking into a few more options though, so the hunt goes on and I'm not giving up. And the boat that I mentioned is still for sale, and if any of my British viewers are interested, I'll put the link in the description. So, in the last episode, I was out winter sailing on the second to last day of January. But then came February, and with it came winter and ice. But after just a few days of thaw, the ice was gone without a trace, and this beautiful spring weather appeared. I could not miss this opportunity, so I walked over to the sailmaker's loft to pick up the new A2 gennaker. After a quick check, I took it home and repacked it into the old snuffer that I used with the busted spinnaker before. My crewmate for the day, Fredrik, prepared the lines and off we went. Alright, so... ready to go. New gennaker is here. And my crewmate, Fredrik. We're gonna try this out today, so cross your fingers. .1 knots, not very windy, but it doesn't really matter because the plan for today is to just sail around in a triangle like that so we can get the wind in maybe 120 degrees or something to go back and try the gennaker. So we'll do that in a while. This is Fredrik.
Hello.
'Alright, so we're extremely frustrated right now because the karma is somewhere over there. Yeah. So what happened was I forgot to turn off the automation for return to home. That means that when it was about 1 meter from my hand, I was about to grab it. It just took off straight up into the air and backwards, because home for a drone means the place where it took off from, and that's not really relevant when you're moving on a sailboat. And although I actually managed to turn off the function and start to fly it back to the boat, I was too slow and the batteries died, it landed into the water and it sank. Okay, so the Karma, rest in peace, is gone. And I knew that could happen, so that's not my biggest problem. My biggest problem is that the footage that we got before it sank was so amazingly beautiful. Sorry about that, people. Alright. Well done. A locally produced anchor beer and a little dwelling later. We filed away this day as a lovely day with a lovely sail and of course a beautiful sunset. So until next time, take care.